Hi, here's a few things you need to know about the Chinese business. So, without any other ado, let's check it out. Our group members consist of me, Hamida Ramawati, Iza Ridwan, Mary Rose, Muhammad Nabil, and Yulianti. In this video, we're going to talk about the role in doing business in China, conversation etiquette, gesture and mimic. Also, we have business outfit in China, and then performance, and the last is about likes and dislikes. And also, we add some information related to business manners in COVID-19 era in the last section.
1. The role in doing business. Often in China, the fundamental barrier to success is less about identifying the chance or opportunity and more about the inability to execute the plan more effectively than others. Scientific and technological innovation has played an important role in promoting China's economic development, but it is not all about creating innovation. One's own management team, the team's relationship with corporate headquarters, the role of and relationship with joint venture partners all play a key role. To take part in doing business in China, one needs to be aware what should be done so that he can go all out in hoping the business runs successfully. Simply said, know your opportunities and duties while doing business in China. Joint ventures have been part of doing business in China for more than 30 years. In many sectors, they remain the only way to participate, often in a mandatory minority position. However, there are a number of lessons we can take as explained below. Establish the right strategic positioning. If regulations require you to have a joint venture partner and a minority position today, assume it will be that way forever in the core business activities. Follow the evolution of government policy and align your stated intent with such policy as far as possible. Be clear with your objective of opportunity because it can lead to a different presence depending on your goal. China sees international partner as little more than a temporary accelerator of growth. Establish from the outset a clear hierarchy of who interacts with whom at the joint venture partner and with relevant government officials. Ensure that the committee executive shows up for board meeting and the like and don't delegate. China is likely to be a more volatile economy, taking a true cycle viewpoint rather than a quarterly performance versus plan. Mindset is a key to motivating your China team and to convincing them that you are committed to China for the long term. 2. Conversation etiquette. Greetings. Handshakes are common, but wait for your Chinese counterpart to initiate the gesture. Regarding the titles of courtesy, most people should be addressed with a title followed by the last name. Careful not to use comrade unless you are a committed communist, of course. When introduced to a new Chinese group, they may greet you with applaud back. Address the eldest or most senior person first. This is done as a sign of respect to those in a more senior position. Don't go straight for a hug, especially when meeting someone for the first time. Any body contact, apart from a simple handshake, make your new Chinese friends feel uncomfortable. The art of conversation. Chinese people will appreciate it if you use a couple of words in Chinese, but make sure you are aware of the meaning and the appropriate occasions. In Chinese culture, the question "have you eaten" or "where have you been" are pleasantries equivalent to the traditional "how are you" in the English-speaking culture. Therefore, do not take it literally and start getting into details in your answer. Simply answer yes if you have eaten, even if you haven't, or simply smile and say thank you. Popular welcome topics are themes about China, art, scenery, landmarks, climate, and geography. You can mention your traveling experience in other country and include your positive impression as a tourist in China. Try to avoid political related discussion, such as the Cultural Revolution or Chairman Mao, the Tibet and Taiwan questions, human rights, and animal treatment. Chinese people are very careful about strong negative statements. For instance, negative answers are considered impolite, so find alternatives such as "I'll think about it," or "maybe," or "we'll see," instead of a blunt no. Similarly, if your Chinese counterpart say "not a big issue" or "the problem is not serious," they usually mean that there still are problems or that the problems are serious. 3. Gesture and mimic. It is vital to maintain composure during meetings. Causing embarrassment or showing too much emotion could have a negative effect for business negotiation. People in China usually enter the meeting room in hierarchical order, so be careful. They will assume that the first of you walking in the room is the head of the delegation. If you are being introduced by someone as part of a group, wait until your turn and then acknowledge the introduction and shake hands when appropriate, as handshake remains a worldwide introduction gesture even in China. Chinese value business card a lot, so have yours ready to exchange during this introduction. In China, it is common to hold your business card with two hands, pass it over, and receive one in the same way. Your receiving gesture goes a long way to communicating the importance of the business represented in your hands. During the meeting, the Chinese will often be seen nod and indicate their agreement. This is just a sign of acknowledging what has been said, and it is not a sign of accepting what has been said. It is noted that Chinese tend to use non-verbal communicators than Westerners. In fact, they are rarely seen using their hands as a sign of expression. If you can limit your hand movement, really paying attention to what you say and how you say it, you'll better mimic the Chinese style communication. Chinese find it extremely difficult to say no. Saying no causes both embarrassment and loss of face, and it therefore better to agree with things in a less than direct manner. Thus, anything other than unequivocal yes probably means no. Be very wary of phrases such as yes but it may be difficult and yes probably. The Chinese use a very limited amount of body language. 4. Outfit. Proper business attire in China. Never wear shorts. Shorts are considered appropriate for exercise and never for the workplace. Avoid wearing bright fabrics. Wear dark or muted colors. Both men and women should dress in conservative manner. Blue jeans should never be worn in the workplace. Attire for women. You should not wear anything revealing. If wearing a dress, the hem needs to be below the knee or the dress is considered inappropriate. Avoid wearing extremely high heels. A shoe with a low heel is acceptable. Wear only closed-toe shoes, such as pumps. You also cannot wear flashy or large jewelry. Choose pieces that are small and appropriate. If possible, wear a business suit and try to wear colors such as beige, brown, or navy. Sleeves on your shirt should be full or 3/4 length. It is also frowned upon to wear too much makeup. If you choose to wear makeup, your makeup should be modest and natural. Never wear bright eyeshadows. Avoid wearing nail polish or fake nails in any Chinese business event. Business attire for men. Wear a conservative suit and a tie. Always wear a tie. The ties must in neutral colors. Avoid bright, flashy ties and patterns. Always keep the suit jacket on at all times. Removing the jacket is considered inappropriate and a sign of disrespect. Always wear a suit to any business social event. Tuxedos are rarely worn. Wear closed-toe shoes. Never wear casual footwear, athletic footwear, or sandals in an office environment. Don't wear jewelry other than a good quality watch and perhaps a wedding band. Wear a nicer watch if you are meeting with a very important company. 5. Performance. Be well prepared for your meeting. The Chinese are often very detail-oriented, so they will have done their research on your company and will expect you have done the same on theirs. This includes making sure you don't schedule a meeting during a Chinese holiday not recognized in Western culture, and knowing exactly who will be making the final decisions about the business transaction. You will also want to send any meeting room requirement, such as tech, equipment, and etc., to your Chinese colleague well in advance of the actual gathering. Make quality printed materials. If you are planning on bringing any materials in your meeting, print everything out in plain black and white on a premium paper. Colors can have different meanings in China than in the West, so it is best to avoid them. Handouts and business cards should also boast Chinese versions. Always bring extra copies of printed materials to avoid running short and offending any Chinese colleague who doesn't get a copy. Anticipate language differences. Make sure you know ahead of time if your Chinese business partners speak English and find a translation solution if they don't. Show up time. Being late is considered offensive and rude. Give yourself sample time to arrive at the meeting. If you run into problems, you'll be thankful for the time cushion.
Conduct formal introductions. It's typical Chinese business culture to nod or bow in greeting, like starting with senior-level business people. However, handshakes are becoming more common, so let your Chinese counterpart initiate the handshakes. Also use proper titles like chairman, vice president, etc., followed by surnames like Li or Zhang when addressing your business partners. Those who use their full names will put their surname before their given or first name. Chinese business people will commonly say first their company's name, then their title, and finally their name, followed their lead. Engage in small talk. The Chinese like doing business with people they know and trust, so even the art of small talk before a meeting is considered important. A typical pleasantry on the Chinese part includes asking you if you've eaten or where you've been recently, etc. So acceptable discussion topics include almost anything related to Chinese culture like art, history, and so on, and also weather, personal or family topics, etc. Stay composed and poised. Chinese business etiquette includes keeping your composure at all times, even if you get upset or excited about a situation. It's also important to maintain proper body posture throughout the business dealings. For example, in addition to the impolite hand gesture mentioned above, avoid slouching or putting your feet on the table. Follow the accepted meeting structure. The meeting host will take a seat first, followed by everyone else in many situations. However, senior-level members from both sides will lead the proceedings, with the host first presenting his or her side, followed by a senior member of your team. Lower-level colleagues typically only provide their thoughts and more information when called upon. Expect to wait on a response. Again, building personal relationships with business partners is very important to the Chinese. This means they will not immediately close a business deal after just one meeting. It's also typical for the Chinese to extend negotiations beyond deadlines, so don't inquire about deadlines or remind your office's colleagues about them. Like and dislike manners when doing business in China. Like, show up on time. Punctuality in any business situations is important, but even more so in Chinese business culture. Being late is considered offensive and rude, so give yourself ample time to arrive at the meeting. If you run into problems, you'll be thankful for the time cushion. Enter the room in proper order. The Chinese have a high respect for authority dating back centuries, and so they usually enter the room in hierarchical order. Follow their practice with your own teammates as you enter the room. The person with the highest level of seniority should go in first, followed by the next highest ranking individual in consecutive order. Allow the Chinese to leave first. This is considered another respectful move on your part. Wait until the host ends the meeting and stands up before doing the same. The Chinese will leave the meeting in the order they came in, hierarchical. Make sure your team also leaves in proper order. So just in case one of your Chinese colleagues catches you breaking rank at the end of the business dealings. Dislike: using too many hand movements, body contact, and unnecessary noises. The Chinese don't use their hands to speak, so instead of pointing an index finger, use an open palm. Never put your hand in your mouth, because it is a rude gesture. The Chinese also dislike body contact such as back slaps or arm touching, and often constant noises like clicking your fingers, whistling, and even blowing your nose with a handkerchief to be impolite. Giving gifts. Government officials will consider the giving of gifts to be bribery, which is not only considered disrespectful. However, in the business world, giving gift policies are becoming more lax, such as a gift can be welcomed as a sign of goodwill towards business and building relationships.
Manners in COVID era. First, avoid handshake. You can either go the traditional route and follow the Indian greeting of clasping your hands together and putting them over your heart as you approach someone, or offer a sincere greeting using warm facial expressions with a smile, eye contact, nod, and placing your right palm on your chest. Second, as declining schedule has become more flexible, be sure to decline politely. When it comes to saying no to business or social invitations, like colleagues asking you to join them 6 feet apart in their networking events, you better master a script to politely decline. Just say something like, "I'm so thrilled to receive your invitation, but I'm just not ready to socialize yet." Third, wear a mask. Mask has become a standard in every face-to-face meeting. You can absolutely ask your colleagues or business associates politely to put their mask on. It's one's responsibility to be mindful of safety, not only for themselves but also for others. And safety is always more important than etiquette.
Alright, that's about how business in China. Are you interested in doing business in China? And do you have some questions? Don't worry, just gently ask us.